Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with a brand new speed build. This time it's a huge 64 by 64 lot villa, which is built in the brand new world of Selvadorada. Now, after the villa build that I did last week, I kind of sat and thought I'd really like to build a huge family villa. But when I was looking at the new world, there are actually not very many huge lots. And this particular lot is the biggest lot in the game. And it was home at the time to a museum, but I decided to change it to like a rental property because I wanted to build a massive family getaway where it was suitable for everyone, from toddlers to teenagers to dogs, cats, hamsters, everything that is currently in the game. And this is what I came up with. Now, this was a monster of a build, and I don't know why I do this to myself, because I go away and I take a break and then I come back and I always hit myself with like a huge big house. But as you know from my last video, I did actually lose the last big build that I did, and I felt ready to do another one. I wanted to come back and do something nice and big, and yeah, you can't get much bigger than a 64 by 64 lot. Now, this is a villa, which in all honesty is not my usual taste. I'm not a big fan of building villas just because it's just not really my thing. I'm not really sure about the colours and the styles, but with this new world I kind of felt like it would just, that's what it needed. It needed a nice big villa. So yeah, this is what I've come up with. It's a 6-bed, 7-bathroom build, and it comes in at just over 510,000 simoleons. So this one isn't cheap. It's not going to be cheap to stay at either. So you're going to need some real flush sims to afford to come away on holiday at this place. But like I say, no expense has been spared. This is going to be your top end holiday home for your sims. Now, let me tell you, this took some building. This actually took 10 hours to build because I wanted to do something. I didn't want to do something rushed. I wanted to take time with it. I didn't want to take too much time that I felt like you guys were sat waiting again for a build, but I wanted to be quite thorough with it and quite detailed with it, because I felt that the build that I lost, that's exactly what I did with that, and I kind of wanted to do the same thing, just really sit and think about how things looked and be quite meticulous in the way that I built it, so that at the very end of it, it was something that I was really proud of and something that I could say hand on heart I absolutely loved. And in all honesty, I do. And I say that because I'm not a fan of villas. I don't think I've really got a niche for building villas. I don't think it's like my thing. So I am a little bit proud of the way this one came out. I don't think it's too bad. But it was really fun to make, and I would say it's really fun to make just because I feel like there are that many stuff packs and game packs and expansions now that you do have a lot of choice now with being creative. You're not kind of tied to the same items, or, you know, as if you were playing from base game. You've got so much choice, and it just makes it even more fun to play. Now, I have used probably all of the expansion packs and stuff packs and whatnot. I didn't do any restrictions with this one, but I do actually plan to maybe do a base game and a jungle adventure pack build for my next build. It will be more of a restricted build. I'm going to do something smaller and give myself a little bit of a break from obviously doing this big one. So I did use all of the expansion packs, but what I will say is towards the end of this build, the pets stuff pack was released. Now, there's quite a lot of controversy, should I say, over that pack, and in all honesty, quite rightly so. I was really disheartened, and in my last video I actually went on to say how I felt that EA had done such an amazing job with the expansion packs over the last couple of ones, that they just have blown me away with the creativity, and I'm not lying when I say that. You know, I thoroughly believe that. However, this stuff pack was a real letdown. I felt like it should have really been a free update in all honesty. For the amount of packs that are out there, for the amount of money that people are spending on The Sims, on these packs on a very, very regular basis, it definitely should have been a free update. It's, in my honest opinion, not worth it. But then again, it depends what kind of items you want to see in the game. You know, maybe you're totally into your sort of doggy outfits, your cat outfits, and your you know, you have a need for that sort of thing. And obviously they include the new pets, so they've got the hamsters and I think hedgehogs and things like that, so that does add a new element. Maybe that's something that's right up your street, but as a builder, from a builder perspective, it wasn't worth it for me. However, obviously I did go ahead and purchase it because you know, I have got all the packs at this point, and obviously, you know, I continue to grow with the game. So yeah, I have to say it was a bit of a letdown, but I think I did go ahead and try and use a couple of items out of that pack, but I can't see me using too many out of it in the future. So currently at the moment I am just finishing off the outside. I can tell you it was so hard to edit this video. It took me 3 gin and tonics last night and I think a bit of Ricky Gervais to kind of get me through the whole editing process. It took absolutely ages to edit this video, but I tried to include as much detail as I could without skipping out anything too vital, so I hope that you've managed to sort of get a gist of how this build came together. I didn't really have a plan for this build. The way that I started building it was very odd, which I always find it difficult when I build in a strange manner, when it's not so straightforward. It does make editing really hard because it kind of looks like it doesn't make much sense. And certainly when I come to build huge builds like this, I do so much swapping and changing and adding bits to this room, and I'll go back and add bits to that room, which is all really fun at the time until you come to edit and you're like jumping around like a jack in a box. So you will find a little bit, you know, my footage is a bit jumpy here and there, but it's simply because I just felt like I wanted to keep layering that detail in. I kept remembering little bits and bobs that I could add into certain areas of the build, and I am so proud of the detail in this build because, you know, it's quite a lot for me really. I'm not a big one on doing interiors. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that I do have a tendency to moan about doing interiors. But it has got a lot easier, like I say, over the last couple of expansion packs and game packs, etc. I really love the items, so it's actually made it a lot more enjoyable. Now, my favourite rooms in this build by far is, I think one's the kitchen. I just really love the tones of the kitchen, how it turned out. I felt it was really a warm space, and I quite like the red bedroom and the green bedroom. I tried to kind of add that whole jungle vibe and earthen colours throughout this build, whilst trying to keep it quite prestige and well-to-do, but there's absolutely everything in this build. I don't think it's missing too much. Obviously, given the fact that Selvadorada is actually an adventure island, so you're probably not going to be spending a great deal of time in this property. You're probably going to be, you know, exploring out there with your Sims, but this is a great place to come, even if it would suit kind of like families, or it would suit, you know, if your Sims had a big group of friends and they wanted to go on a big friends holiday. I kind of imagine that this would just be the perfect place for that. So I just wanted to say thank you very much for the warm love that I got from my last build. I really liked that build. It was quite a small one for me really, and it came out really nice. I really enjoyed doing that build. And like I was saying earlier, I think the next build that I would like to do one that's a little bit smaller. It will be in Selvadorada again. I think I'm going to do a bit more of a budget build, in the sense that somewhere a bit more affordable for the Sims to visit, because a lot of my builds I will say, are completely extravagant. Whoever be able to afford most of the houses that I build will take your Sims right to the grave to be able to afford them. I'm pretty sure of that. But you know, so I would like to really do some sort of budget build for people that don't like to use cheats, you know, money cheats and things like that. I must admit, when I do come to play The Sims, I don't really like to use money cheats. If I'm going to do it properly, I want to start from scratch. You know, I want to build myself up from nothing and create that empire. So I think it's always nice to have those sort of starter homes and more affordable homes, and, you know, vacation homes as well. So I think I'm going to do kind of like maybe a smaller villa or something along those lines. I'd like to do something community wise as well, maybe do a nice bar, or a sort of camping area. I think I will probably do something along those lines as well. But yeah, I was trying to pace myself with this build because, like I say, I wanted to take a bit of time to do the build, but I also wanted, you know, to make sure that I was uploading again so you guys weren't like, oh, she's disappeared again. And I really enjoyed it. I have enjoyed it this week, coming in and doing little bits of this build. I am looking forward to doing something a little bit smaller. I do think that would be quite fun as well. I do sometimes laugh at myself and think, why can't I just be one of those that's really into doing tiny homes? It would make life so much easier. But I'm just not. I think every time I upload a tiny house, which is, let's face it, never, I always kind of feel like I'm not doing my channel justice, which is just ridiculous because I watch other Simmers who build smaller builds as well, and they're just brilliant. You know, people do room builds and they're fantastic, and I think to myself, why can't I do one of those? So I might do a couple of those. You might find some little short and sweet videos thrown in there as well. But I must admit, looking back on my channel, I think ultimately the big builds is where I'm at. I think that's what I enjoy doing the most, and it's probably where I feel like I can be the most creative as well. So at the minute I'm onto the third bedroom, and I'm trying to do these rooms a little bit different from one another, using different colour schemes, trying to change up the lights a little bit, the furniture. I think I did 4 double rooms, which were kind of adult-like. 3 I would say were fairly neutral for men or women or girls and boys, etc. I did a toddler bedroom as well, and I also did it was kind of like a surfery sort of boys teenage room, and I did a girls room as well. So there is a lot of choice, no matter whether your Sims are teenagers, toddlers, whatever. I did try to include absolutely everything. What I tend to do, and what I did with this build, is I will build it as standard, and then I'll go back and add in things for like toddlers. So I'll go around and place a load of like potties or high chairs, and then I do the same with the pets now as well. So I will go back into like the kitchen area that I've built, and I'll add in kind of like pet bowls and beds, and just to kind of make sure that I've got a bit of everything for everyone. I think the only thing that I didn't fit into this build, which I really wanted to, but I didn't feel it looked quite right, was maybe something for younger children to do outside. So I wanted to add in maybe a climbing frame and some slides and stuff, and there is an area actually where I could have done it, but I just don't think it would have looked quite as extravagant as I wanted it to look. So I did leave them out, and I kind of thought, you know, if people want to add those things in, then they can add them in. It's not a problem. In fact, I'm pretty sure when it comes to the gallery now, next to no one's going to be downloading my builds because there's just so many packs in them. And I do feel bad. I know there's not many people out there that do feel bad about stuff like that, because obviously ultimately it's choice on how many packs you own. But I do. I think at this stage now I'm kind of like, especially with that last stuff pack, I kind of sit back and look at The Sims and think, come on guys, like, you know, you've got a young audience. I'm not just a young audience obviously, but you know, you've got, give us something back, you know, give us something, a little bit of something for our loyalty to The Sims, because ultimately it's us that keeps them going. So Anyway, that's me just waffling on a little rant there, on a little tangent. But yes, I'm onto the kitchen now, and like I say, this was my favourite room. Now, I am no expert when it comes to interiors. I'm really not. I try my very best. I try my best to be different. There are some things that I do the same, and I just think that's generally just a style at this point. I think everyone's got a little style, got little quirky things that they like to do that they do quite repetitively. I do have those things in my builds, but I do try to be a little bit different and, you know, sort of experiment with different colour palettes and stuff. And this kitchen, I am not very good at kitchens. I try my best. It's functional. They always have everything that they need in them, but there are far better builders out there than me, that's for sure. But the way that this started, compared, like how it started looking compared to how it ended up looking, I was like, yes, I love it. I really did love this kitchen, and it just looked really pretty in the end. I just really enjoyed it. It might not be to everyone's taste, but I must admit, I was like, I'm quite impressed with that one. Well done, Kim. And I am loving the whole laundry day stuff pack. I do like that kind of element to things, you know, having washing machines and dryers. I haven't got around this week because obviously it's been such a massive build to playing too much of The Sims yet, and I've got so much catching up to do. It's ridiculous on the whole, you know, stuff packs and actually playing the whole laundry thing through, and the cats and the dogs and everything. But I did have a little go at doing some washing with my Sims the other day, and I was just like, this is brilliant. This is just brilliant. I really enjoy it. I do. So I think this week my focus is going to be a smaller build and then trying to actually physically play some of The Sims. But I am currently sorting out my Twitch channel as well. I may be doing some streams, but I'm not going to put out a notification for that because I just want to do some warm-up streams to kind of get myself into it. I know I always end up talking about Twitch and then I never end up doing it, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to do it at this point. So I've been setting all that up today, and I probably will use Twitch to do some playing of The Sims because I think that would be a good opportunity to actually get into it and play and not just do building. Now, what I will say is that there are rooms in this build that I haven't been able to include in the speed build. Things like a gym that I've built, a sauna. There are a lot of detail that goes into my builds, things that you don't always see from a speed build, such as the bathrooms, hallways. There really is no space that is spared. And if you'd like to see that up close, then the best way to do that is obviously to download it from the gallery under #SimkinBuild. So that's my origin ID as well. Then you get to have a closer look if you're able to do so. But if you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up, and if you're not subbed already, feel free to do so, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.